The birthday lie nobody saw coming. I need to know if I'm crazy because this situation got way messier than it should have. So my best friend of 6 years, Talia, told me she wasn't celebrating her birthday this year. She said she wanted it quiet, didn't feel like doing anything, and wanted a break from people. She kept repeating it like she was trying to convince herself. I believed her. I even felt bad for her. Then Saturday morning, I opened my feed and see photos of her at a full birthday brunch. Not a small one. I'm talking decorations, matching outfits, a giant cake, and a table full of people, all smiling, all clearly invited, everyone except me. I stared at the pictures for a long time, trying to figure out if I was overreacting. But the more I looked, the more I noticed. Every single person there was someone she had complained about for months. People she swore she couldn't stand. Yet apparently they were worth celebrating with. And here's the part that made it feel intentional. The brunch theme was our inside joke, something she and I created years ago. They even used a phrase that only she and I say. Seeing them all posing with it felt like getting replaced in real time. I didn't comment. I didn't like anything. I didn't bring it up. I just stayed silent because honestly, I wanted to see what she would do. 2 days later, she randomly texted me saying she felt bad I wasn't there and hopes I did something fun for myself that weekend. And that's what made everything click. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't explaining. She was acting like I simply had other plans and wasn't invited because I wouldn't have come anyway. It felt like she rewrote the story before I ever got a chance to react. But the real twist came last night. Someone who was at the brunch told me Talia said she didn't invite me because she didn't want drama. Drama? I had no idea there was drama. And now I'm sitting here wondering what she's been telling people behind my back. Because the way everyone looked at me at work today felt different, like they knew something I didn't. Then right before I left, a coworker pulled me aside and said, "You should hear what she told us. It's not what you think." But she wouldn't tell me more until tomorrow. And apparently, whatever Talia said about me is big enough that the whole friend group already picked a side. I find out the reason tomorrow. And from what I heard, I'm not ready for it. I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying the brunch photos, the smiles, the decorations, the inside jokes I recognized being used without me. But what really kept me awake was the coworker's warning. It's not what you think. What else could there possibly be? By the time I walked into work the next morning, people were whispering in that way where they pretend they're not. But they absolutely are. I kept my head down until the same coworker from yesterday pulled me aside. She didn't even wait for me to ask. She just took a deep breath and said she felt I deserved to know. She told me that at the brunch, Talia spent a good chunk of the time telling people she couldn't invite me because I made everything about myself and that I always start drama when the attention isn't on me. That apparently I'd make a scene if something didn't go my way. I almost laughed because, if anything, I avoid conflict so much it's practically a personality trait. But hearing that she described me like this almost made me nauseous. According to my coworker, the others just nodded along like they already believed it. But that wasn't all. Apparently, Talia also said she needed space from me because I was holding her back. She claimed every time she tried to make new friends, I supposedly got jealous, and that she didn't want people at the brunch to feel uncomfortable with me there. I stood there listening, not even angry at first, just confused. None of that sounded like me. None of that sounded like us. And then a much worse thought hit me. If she said all that publicly, how long had she been saying it privately? I asked my coworker why she was even telling me all this, and she said it was because something felt off. She said Talia's tone didn't sound hurt or betrayed. It sounded rehearsed, like she had been waiting for the chance to say it. I walked away feeling hollow. 6 years of friendship reduced to a caricature of me she described for sympathy points. But things weren't done unraveling. At lunch, someone I barely talked to sat next to me and said that 2 weeks before the brunch, Talia had been going around telling people we were growing apart. She said I was negative energy and that she was setting boundaries. Which was funny because 2 weeks ago, she and I spent an entire afternoon together shopping and laughing like nothing was wrong. She asked me for advice. She bought us matching keychains. There was zero sign of negative energy. It made me question everything. Had she been pretending to like me long before she finally cut me out? Was every laugh, every memory, every late-night conversation just her keeping me around until someone better showed up? That's when the real punch landed. Right before my shift ended, another coworker approached me, someone who was actually at the brunch. She quietly told me something no one else did, that the brunch wasn't a spontaneous celebration. It wasn't a friends coming together. It was an audition. Talia told everyone she was rebuilding her circle and wanted to start fresh with people who inspired her. She described it like she was curating a new version of her life, and I simply didn't fit the direction she was going. Hearing that broke me in a way the photos never did. The matching outfits suddenly made sense. The decorations, the inside joke theme she reused without me. Everything was planned to look like she had a solid, happy group, without me in it. I left work in a weird daze. I didn't cry. I didn't text her. I didn't rant. I just felt removed, like she had erased me before I even realized she was trying. But the final confirmation came that night. I went home, sat on my bed, and looked at our old photos. Vacations, birthdays, sleepovers, every memory that felt real at the time. I waited for the anger or the heartbreak to hit, but instead I felt something else. Clarity. For months, she had been dropping hints I didn't want to see, pulling back, being distant, making subtle comments that felt off but I brushed away. All while building a narrative where I was the problem so she could leave without guilt. The truth wasn't that I caused drama. The truth wasn't that I made things about myself. The truth wasn't that I held her back. The truth was simple. She outgrew me. And instead of being honest, she chose the easiest exit: blame. And the moment I realized that, everything in me let go. I didn't confront her. I didn't demand an explanation. I didn't ask for my side to be heard. I didn't need to, because I finally understood something I should have learned years ago. When someone wants to leave your life, you cannot make them stay. And when someone wants to paint you as the villain, they will always find colors to do it with. That night, I quietly removed her from my life. Not out of revenge, not out of anger, but out of acceptance. She wanted a new circle, so I stepped out of it. And the crazy part? The second I did, the silence felt peaceful. That was the real truth. She didn't cut me off. I finally let her, and that was the end of us.